going on, world family? Welcome to another episode of Journey of the Mindset. Do I have a treat for y'all today? Listen, y'all heard me speak of this young man a long time ago, Mr. Arthur. He has a book called Higher. Higher is amazing. I'm going to tell you a fun fact about this. My best friend actually came to a Father's Day event a few weeks ago, and he had the opportunity to meet the author of Higher, which is Arthur. And I could not get my best friend to read a book for a minute. And he'll even say it, like, listen, I'm not a book reader, but for some reason he resonated with this book, and it's called Higher. And when I met Mr. Arthur, I said, you know what, I need to have you on Journey of the Mindset to talk a little bit about your journey, what inspired you when you started to write this book, and what made you want to write the book. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Mr. Arthur, the author of Higher. What's going on?
What's going on, family? How you feeling?
Same old, man. Same old. I know you and I have been chatting up behind the scenes. We met a while ago. I'm just going to start there because I always like to let the audience know pretty much how I met people that I'm bringing on to the show. So long story short, I'm a community school director in a high school in the Bronx as well. I was at an event. This gentleman, I'm not even going to lie, he was one of the vendors that was like right by the door. And I seen him with his books, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go over there. But I wound up doing a lap around the whole entire building before I even came over to you, before I got to you. And I'm happy that I got to you. I also started to speak to another brother that had some books next to you, and me and him kind of got into the conversation. But what stood out to me when it came down to you was that, one, you believe in free. And I will say this in the sense of this. You told me about your book, but for you to give me a physical copy of your book signed, not just giving me a copy and like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to give it to him, that's it. But giving me a physical copy and signed, I was like, all right, this man know how to do business, because he verbally told me about his book, but now he's going to physically give me the copy. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The book spoke for itself. I don't feel like it's an ordinary book. I feel like it's very captivative. I've also took a few pages from your book that I want to talk about a little bit, because I'm curious on your mindset on certain chapters of the book. I love the way it's structured. I love that it's something that you can read daily, so you don't have to just skim through the whole entire book. You can just go in there and just be like, you know what, today's Monday, I want to read this today, and then go to Tuesday and you can read. So that's one thing that I definitely love about the book. But I want you to talk a little bit about it. I don't want to go on a rant. Tell us a little bit about your book. What inspired you to write the book Higher?
Well, the book Higher, what really inspired me, the book was like a beautiful mistake, because during rearing my last two children, I had my last two kids back to back. I have 3 kids in total. So I have, Irish twins, Puerto Rican twins, because they're a year apart. So I had a change of life, a whole career change. I went from, running a successful business for 10 years to just, falling back and staying in the house, for about 3 years with them, to, make sure they was right, because, I was going to daycares. They was asking this crazy exorbitant amount. I'm like, who better to watch my kids than me? So told Shorty, go back to work.
That's right.
Do your thing. And I'm going to deal with the kids. But in that time, I felt like, I was being pulled apart, because you go from, ripping and running, doing this, being, financially compensated handsomely to and you come to a standstill. So I had to do something to occupy my time. So I used to shoot Shorty to work in the morning, and she go to work for like 5 in the morning. So before I used to shoot her to work, when I come back, I do my little routine. I journal, I work out, meditate. So the journaling came a book. I would just kind of write free verse, like a thought would be in my head, like regrets, and I'll just start writing. And some way by the end of the passage, I'll tie regrets into it. So it's like daily, things just been coming to my mind. Like whatever word was on my mind, I just captured that word. I wrote it at the top of the page, and I just start writing. In some way, by the end of the passage, I would tie that word into it. So that's how the book came about. It was a journal, and I was like, I'm gonna put this out, because it's like, I have something to say, and people need to hear this. And in the book, it's kind of like, me in third person. It's kind of like my older self talking to my younger self. It's the stuff that I know now. Like, we grew up doing dumb shit that made us wise. So now I'm on the top of the mountain, I could give some handsome advice to people. Like, I could save you a lot of time. Like, you ain't got to do it that way. You ain't got to have it all figured out. And I just feel like, people need to hear that. And I've said, if I don't do anything, let me put this out. It was roadblocks and obstacles and getting it out because I never put out a book before. And, I went to different publishing places and they trying to sell me these packages and people trying to get me, with my best interest not in mind. So for me, the big thing was like, I'm going to do it. And once I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
I heard you say two things that I know that one, entrepreneurs go through. And that was one, the standstill. When things are up and you're making all that money or you getting the business that you want, and then all of a sudden it just starts slowing down and it comes to a standstill. One, what made you say, you know what, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep on pushing. Two, I also heard you say that you had some downtime. You told your girl you're gonna go to work. You're gonna handle the things there. So you had the downtime. But a lot of the information that's in that book, you had to be comfortable enough to really share some of that stuff. So when did you get to that point where you said to yourself, you know what, I'm going to be comfortable enough to share, I'm going to be vulnerable enough, to share the information that I'm sharing in that book? So those two things is, one, what does somebody do that's out there and the business is going great and then all of a sudden it just stops? Two, what type of mindset do you have to be in to be vulnerable enough to share the type of information you did in Hire?
Okay, well, for the first one, life has ebbs and flows, and it's valleys and peaks, and you have to understand, like, sometimes you're gonna be up, sometimes you're gonna be down, and recession always follows expansion. It's just a cycle of life. So you gotta keep yourself, mind, body, and soul. You just gotta keep yourself right. So wherever you find yourself within, that cycle, you just know, like, yo, you're gonna keep on pushing. What Les Brown say? If you fall on your butt so you can get back up. So
it's funny you said that. So that's the way I end every journey of the mindset with that quote. I always say, when you fall, make sure you land on your back so you can look in the direction you should be going in. Les Brown said that, and I'm a firm believer. That's how I end every episode. So go ahead, because now you just opened up a whole slew of questions I would ask you. But go ahead.
So that's the big thing for me. Like, expansion always follows recession, and you got to know that. Sometimes you're gonna be up, sometimes you're gonna be down. But you know what I'm saying. You make the money don't make you. So you got to be who you is either way. Like, you know what I'm saying. You got to be brilliant. You got to be who you are either way. If I got 10 grand in my pocket, I got $10 in my pocket, I'm gonna still come with the same energy. And for the second question, you were saying the mindset of being vulnerable. For me, I'm like the person who always get good advice. Like, I'm the person, like, I'm the brutal, honest friend. Like, I tell you the truth. Like, I ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. So even me being vulnerable, I'm just talking like how I normally talk. So rather than my close friend circles or everybody that I came in contact with, now I'm putting it out there for everybody to hear. So I already just have that kind of trying to help you overtone, because I know where you're at. I've been there. I see where you're going. Oh, let me put you on game. So that's kind of just like embedded in my DNA. I'm just, 6 is my life path. I'm a like 3 life path. Like, I'm here to be like a teacher. So I just have that, kind of overbearing friend kind of, chemical makeup in my DNA, so it wasn't hard for me to get there.
What about your circles? I want to talk a little bit about that. When you were writing the book, did you get help? What did your circle feel about you writing your book? Are you just the type of person that's kind of more like a loner and kind of like do your own thing?
Yeah, I'm definitely the lone wolf. I'm like the extroverted introvert. Like, the thing is, if I know you and you got good energy and you deserving of my time, we can laugh, Joe. But if I don't know you, like, I'm in the spot, but I'm the type of person, like, I can go to a party by myself and have a blast. Like, I don't need, like, a whole bunch of people for my validation or to be you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good by myself, like, and I like to be by myself. Like, I'll go out, like, a whole couple of days straight, and then I need a day. I gotta reset, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the same way I am. So I'm a people person myself. I like to be around people. I don't know if it's the getting up there in age. I ain't even all that old, so we ain't even gonna go there. But I do find my energy and social media decreasing very fast. But I'm also learning the importance, which was something that we and you was talking about, is the importance about self-care. Taking time for yourself. A lot of us are out there running around trying to do the entrepreneur things. We got a job, we're chasing a dream, we got kids, we got to come home, we got to do this, blah blah blah. But now I'm learning how to take that time for myself to breathe a little bit. Can you touch a little bit about that, because you did touch a little bit about that on the book. We did talk about that. I think every time we had the chance to kind of connect with each other, we kind of got into the flow of a conversation about self-care. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of being an author, doing all of the stuff that you do, and taking the time for yourself, to check yourself, to make sure you're okay, to bring you back to earth, to balance you?
Well, it's like there's a part in the book where I tell you, like, be selfish about your goals. And, be selfish about your goals. Be selfish, but be selfless in the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be selfish, when it comes to you, but do it as selflessly as possible. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if I'm good, y'all gonna be good. So the thing, if I'm not good, y'all not gonna be good. So I gotta make sure you can't pour from an empty cup. I gotta make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, my faculties is in order. I have to make sure I'm good. Because once I'm good, everybody around me, you know what I'm saying, is going to feel the brilliance, going to feel the energy just from me being good. Like, we all got bad days, we got down days, but for me, it's big because, like, you got to realize that you got to know what you're optimizing for in whatever particular season you're in your life. This time, we optimizing, like, I'm optimizing to get money. I'm optimizing for the dating scene. I'm optimizing for health, for wealth. So depending on what you're optimizing for, you'll know what season you're in.
What season?
And when you're there, do that. You know what I'm saying? When you're there, do that. Don't say, okay, well, I'm optimizing for my career, and then you be over here playing around. Wherever you at, it makes sense to be there. Just be there. And ain't nobody gonna do it for you. It's like they said, God created man in the image of himself. And for you to show up and be as godlike as possible, you got to make sure this is right. You got to make sure your body's right, you eating right, programming things that you're letting seep into your subconscious, what you're intaking, not just from a reading standpoint, from a media standpoint, what you're watching, the music you listen to, who's in your ear, the things they're saying to you. Are they speaking kind words? Are they speaking life into you? So you just got to take care of yourself all around the board. Because sometimes it's like what Laura said, you look good but you piss poor morally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put a 3-piece suit on and you got on Balenciaga and this, and inside like you're dying. Nah, like you can't what they say, you can't put syrup on shit and make it pancakes. It just is what it is.
And people will try
all the time
and try to make you eat it too
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. So you just gotta know, like, not so that they make you feel guilty about being selfish.
So, all right. First, let's dive into and get a little bit deeper into the selfish definition more so. Because I feel like that meaning translate different to a lot of people. So, what does that mean? Selfless, like you being selfish. Does that mean that you're being selfish in a way where you're being mean, hurtful to people? Are you just being selfish in a way where you're like, you know what? No, I'm not helping nobody. It's about me. Like, I just want to dive a little bit deeper in it because I feel like a lot of us struggle with that selfish.
Yeah, a lot of us struggle with the word because people only think about the negative connotation. Like, if you had the option to do something and you wanted to help someone else before you helped yourself, sometimes you got to know when you got to be selfish. Like, there's people that are just going to take, and you got to know if this person does this person, boost my energy when they come around, or do they dim my energy when they come around?
Self-awareness.
You know what I'm saying? So the big thing is, for me, everybody's not deserving of your help, but it's like a double-edged sword. Like, you learned a lesson. Everybody's not deserving of your help, and they learned a lesson that someone will actually help you. Yeah, where it might not work out, life will go on either way, but you gotta prioritize yourself. You know what I'm saying? They say, "Oh, you're a self-preservationist," or you did it, but at the end of the day, how much people in your phone you could call right now? Your leg break, you're incapacitated, you can't work for a month. Let me, pay my rent this month. Let me hold $1,000. There's a handful of people who could do that. So you gotta prioritize yourself and make sure you good.
I'm laughing because I think that's something that we all should kind of like take the time to really think about, right? When we're pouring into people. Like, I pour into people, I don't expect anything back. I don't. But I guess let me not say that, because no, there is an expectation that, yeah, if I do need somebody that, especially that helped out, I would like for that person to be somebody that I could call on. It doesn't have to be financially, just emotionally, simple like that. But I laugh because how many of us really have like 100 and something people in our phone, and out of 100 and something people in our phone, we can probably only call on 2. And how many people, to dive a little bit deeper, that's out of that 100 people that's in our contact list, we've known forever, for a long time. So when you touch on and you give your definition, your translation of selfishness, I think that you're 100% right. I think that we need to reframe the definition of it, because it does have an attachment to a negative connotation where people think, oh, when you say the word selfish, that means that you just like, yo, F everybody, I'm not going to. But that's not what it means. Selfish could be just simply, I'm just going to take a time right now for myself. That's what I did for the last week and a half. I took my little business phone that I have right here. I haven't been answering. It's been on do not disturb. So it gave me my option. Whenever I feel like looking at that phone, whenever I feel like responding, whenever I feel like picking it up, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you, this week and a half felt like a month, because I just focused literally on rest. I just did one documentary yesterday, but that was like the only thing that I did, and I focused on rest. I told people no. I love my mother to death. She had to go down for an emergency down in Georgia. Can't watch a dog, I'm sorry. Because one pattern that I noticed, and it's not with her, it's just that every time I'm on vacation, I don't get a chance to enjoy it because I'm always doing something for somebody else. And I needed this time to take time to myself. Even my business partner hit me up, hey, you know what's going on? Want to check in with you? We could check in on Monday. But this week is for me, and I think that that's something that we need to realize, is that when you're out there and you're running around and you're doing a lot of stuff for people, you do deserve a chance for a break. I know how bad you may feel. I know it may make you feel sad. It may make you feel hurt. It may make you feel like you're letting somebody down. But it just goes back to this example that they give when you on a plane. The plane is going down, or whatever the case may be, and the oxygen mask come down, and you're there with a child. Who do you put the oxygen mask on first? You or the child? You have to put it on you first, because if you go and put it on the child, or you go to try to put it on the child, you might pass out before you even get a chance to put the mask on them fully. And then you also got to think about it in a sense too. You do get the mask on that child, but then you pass out. Who's going to take care of that child? Who's going to watch over that child while you on the floor passed out? So I do see and recognize how big rest is. Also, reading the Bible, reading the Word. Also, the Lord says it. Rest. Take time for yourself. Rest. When you rest, you think clearly. When you rest, your attitude is a little better. Some of us are walking around with so much anger in us, and we don't understand why we're always pissed off throughout the day, or why people set us off so fast. Check what time you're going to bed. You going to bed at 12 o'clock, but you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to help. It's not your body. You're not doing good for your body. So I definitely appreciate you talking about that. I do want to just dive back in the book real fast. Tell me a little bit. Matter of fact, what is your favorite page in that book? Post lines.
I'll tell you the truth. They all my favorite pages, but the thing for me was that, like when I go back and I read it, any particular page I read, like I know where I was at that day. Like I know what I was going through that day, and surprisingly, like I read it, I'm like, yo, like this is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. And now I've got like 2 more books done, and I've seen, the progression. Like I've got better now than for, in the book. Like, I knew where I was at with the book, but now I wouldn't say light years ahead now, but I now, like, even my writing, even my pen is even much better from just consistently doing it and practicing. But every page in the book is a win for me. You know what I'm saying? Because any given day I could read it. If I don't do nothing else, I'd pass out tomorrow. There's something for me that's left here, and any given day I pull open a page and read it. I just have joy in just doing it. Like, yeah, you did that. You did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to know, because this is one of my favorite. I highlighted this right here, so I want to know where your mindset was there. So this page is called Fly Away, and I just highlighted the part of Fly Away. Y'all can go get the book, and y'all can definitely read it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. But this part right here, and I highlighted this part, Fly Away. It says, "Don't get lost in the sea of uncertainty, and be encountered by worldly ways. We are not of this earth. We are simply passing through." So I want to say that the reason why that meant a lot to me too, because it goes back to kind of like scripture, right?
Yeah.
We're living in this world. We're the flesh, right? We're humans. We're in this world. We get amazed by the worldly things that we cannot bring with us. But what that highlight brought out of me was the actions, the things that we do, the put-ins. What are we going to leave behind? Not materially, but spiritually on people's heart and soul. So I wanted to know where your mindset was when you read that. And you titled it Fly Away.
Well, Fly Away, I think Nelly Furtado song probably just came in my head, and I just started writing. But like when I say, we not from here, we just passing through. Like, we're just spiritual beings having a human existence. You understand? So you just know, whatever you believe, whether you've been here before, whether you're not here before, whether you're gonna go back, you're gonna come back, whatever you believe, Buddha, Yahweh, whatever you want to believe. But for me, like, I just know there's some things that are inexplicable that you can't attribute that to man. Like, it's something as a force in the void that's greater than us that makes that possible. So you just got to know that, you're a spiritual being living a human existence. So pay attention to what your body's saying. Trust your gut. Because your gut is your intuition. That's God talking to you. Your gut is actually really your brain.
That's the part right there, though. How do I know God? How do I know it's God talking to me and not the devil?
But look, it's usually like the cartoon, Looney Tunes, the devil on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Usually the first one be God. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give you a scenario, like, you wasn't supposed to go to the party that night, and you went, you caught a DWI, or you crashed your car, or you went up there, hooked up with a girl, and shorty, her friend seen you and sent a picture to her. Like, the first instinct you had, I shouldn't go to the party, let me just chill. But you still went. You let that other brain kick in, and you still went. And now you already knew how it was going to turn out, but you was like, I ain't going to deny myself the pleasure. Let me just go do that. And it turned out. But if you had followed your gut, the first instinct that you got, then all would have been well.
Hey, World Family, that was powerful right there. I don't know how many of y'all have ever been in a situation like that where you did not listen to your gut, and then when stuff starts to take off, you like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have. I almost got stabbed up, right? And I never talk about this. This is a crazy thing. I was invited to this party, and everything for the whole entire week was like, don't go to this party. 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 And I went anyway. And I went anyway because at the time I wanted to be the popular kid. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go there, whatever case me. And when I went there, it was cool, man. It was a cool party. I went there to DJ. Yo, DJ in the house. I'm like, yeah. So I was feeling myself and everything. But what I did not know is that I'm feeling myself. And at the time I'm feeling myself, there's people that's watching.